Today is extra special because it's my birthday, and birthdays are usually about receiving, but instead, I want to focus on giving because what matters most to me is that you, my listeners, are supported and encouraged. So, listen up to this episode where I talk about my birthday wish for you. I turn 46 today. And as I mentioned in the opening, instead of receiving birthday wishes, I'd like to flip the table a little bit. I'm going to give you a few wishes that I have for you. So think of this episode as my gift to you, words to carry into this season that I hope are just going to give you an amazing year. Because really, that's what we want, right? When we wish people well on their birthday, we want that wish to carry on for the whole year. So here are my five wishes for you. And I'll tell you, this comes from me reflecting on the past year. And each of these wishes comes from lessons I have learned, not the easy way. I've learned them the hard way. And moments when I've had to choose boldness, when I desperately needed rest, when joy reminded me why I do what I do, when freedom became the real marker of success for me, and when faith carried me through uncertainty. So here we go. Here are the five, and I'm going to share a little bit more. And I'm going to keep today's episode brief because I've got some celebrating to do. And so write them down, read them over after, and use them as a way of fueling you. And if you are thinking like, I can't write all this down, don't worry. If you didn't know already, all of my podcast episodes, they go on my blog. So we take the transcription, we write it out into a nice, because I blabber sometimes when I'm speaking, we write them into a nice blog. And so if you want to read the blog, that'll give you the information as well. Plus, if you prefer to look at me as I'm talking, then you can go to YouTube and watch on my channel. All my podcast episodes are there as well. So, the first one, my first wish for you, my lovely listener, is boldness. My theme this year was to be bold, and I was feeling probably the year since a year before COVID that I haven't been my full self, and that I've been like, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? And I've been feeling very like pulled back and hesitant and like things especially after my father died and COVID and all the stuff that was layered on. I felt like even for the people in Vancouver, I felt like even driving from North Vancouver across the bridge, not that it was a pain because it is a pain, but that it was too stressful. And so it's hard to be bold when I didn't have the emotional capacity or the emotional stamina to be able to do that. And that's really hard for me because one of my values is challenge and challenging myself. So, my wish for you is boldness to be able to ask for what you want, to take up space, to step into opportunities without hesitation, as long as they align with your big vision, like I talked about last episode. And playing small, it keeps you safe, right? But boldness, this opens doors. Doors for what? For growth, visibility, impact, to reach that big vision, your mission in life. And without boldness, what's going to happen? You risk staying hidden in places you've outgrown. And so, as I was talking in previous episodes about finding those people that stretch you and grow you, boldness is going to help you to be able to do that. My second wish for you, rest. Rest. I wish you the kind of rest that truly restores you deeply, emotionally, physically. As high achieving women, we carry everyone's needs, our clients' needs, our team's needs, our employees' needs, our family's needs, our friends' needs, our neighbors' needs, the world's needs, all of it. And we often put ourselves last. But rest, it is a strategy. It's not a weakness. It is a strategy. It is not a weakness. Without rest, burnout is inevitable. And I realized by tracking my sleep on my watch with my Fitbit that I was getting on average like 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours. 6.5 would be like a good week on average of sleep. Not good enough. Women need what, like 8 to 9, 9 to 10 hours. Men need less. So the facts state. But for me, I know that I needed rest. I was really not doing good to myself. And when I was able to go back and stay in my childhood home with my mom, I started getting 7.5, 8, 8.5 hours of sleep. And I started to feel so, so good. And so that's my wish for you, that you get rest on a deep level, very deep level, not just with sleep, but in all capacities. My third wish for you is joy. I wish you joy. Joy that like bubbles up in your daily life. Not just in the milestones, not just in these big successful moments when I've published the book, or I got the promotion, or we bought the house, not just in the big times, but in every single small moment in life that you start to feel joy and that spark. You see, too often we reserve our celebration just for those big wins. Like, well, it's just this, it's just that. But joy along the way, it fuels resilience. It's going to help you to keep going. And without joy, business starts to feel like a grind. Your career starts to feel like a grind. Maybe like last episode, your vision starts to feel like a grind when you're not having joy. And we are starved for acknowledgement and recognition. And so I hope that you can be able to not just recognize your daily life joys, but the joys in who you are and who you're being and what you're doing in the world. My fourth wish for you is freedom. Freedom! Like, what does that even mean? But I wish you freedom, the freedom of time, that you get to decide what happens, what comes into your calendar, the freedom of choice, that you get to choose who to be with, that you get to choose what you do, and you get to make your own decisions. Also, freedom to be who you are. And I've realized recently that in working with one of the professionals I'm working with, that I have this high achieving side, this follow the rules side, this get things done side, this responsible side. That's quite different from the fun, quirky, playful, cracking jokes, a little bit on the edge side that I can have. And I want you to have the freedom of who you are completely, all aspects, because we can get tied up in our obligations. That's what I was doing over here. And we just forget that freedom is why many of us started our business in the first place, or why we dreamed of having the career we had, or just like it is one of our, I feel like it is just something that needs to happen for every person, that we feel free. And it's not always the case in society because there's taxes and there's bills and there's responsibility. But I want for you freedom, the freedom, time, choice, and to be who you are. And the last one, faith. Whatever that means to you, I'll kind of go through it a little bit and share more about for me. But I wish you faith, faith in yourself, right? Belief in self, faith in the process that you're going through, and faith in your mission, that big vision that you have, and faith in God's plan for you. You know, there's always going to be a sense of uncertainty in life or struggle, but faith, it grounds you. It keeps you moving when logic says stop. Because logic will always say stop. Fear will be like, nah, I can't do this. And so I hope you have just an extra dose of faith, because without it, fear takes over, doubt takes over. But faith, as I said, faith grounds you. It keeps you moving forward. So these are my five wishes for you. And as I said in the beginning, like, these come from moments over my past year, moments when I've had to choose boldness and I didn't feel like it. Like Zorbing, which is these big rubber balls or plastic balls with water in them, and you get inside. This is in New Zealand, and they push you down a hill. So that was a moment I didn't want to do it, but I chose boldness. And times when I desperately needed rest, saying no to things, staying home when I had commitments, and I am a commitment keeper, I'll tell you that. But really honoring myself and rest. And when joy reminded me why I do what I do, the joyful moments, the hearing successes from clients. Just had a client message me the other day saying, "Oh, I emailed all like I'm only done half of my emails, sending single emails, and I've already had 3 people interested in my offer." And I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Joy in that, and joy in other things, like sitting on my little patio out front, looking at the leaves and the wind blowing, and freedom. The freedom to be able to do things like spend 3 weeks at my mom's, the freedom to pull weeds from her patio to help her out. That's the real marker of success, the ability that I get to choose who to be with, who to spend my time with, who I'm going to be, and what I'm going to do. And then faith carrying me through uncertainty. I said yes to going on a mission trip in Kenya. There was a lot of uncertainty around the trip. There were some before we went, there were people protesting, there were some people killed because of that. It was kind of scary and uncertain, but faith carried me through, and faith's carried me through so many things in my life that I just feel really blessed. So those are my 5. So as I blow out my candles this year, I hope I get a cake. I'll have to buy one if I don't. Again, these wishes are not just for me, these are for you. And I hope you have that boldness and joy and freedom and rest and faith and all of these things, so that not only will your business be stronger, but your life will feel fuller and more fulfilling. So if any of these resonate with you, I'd love to hear about it. Send me an email, diane@dianerolston.com, or a DM on your favorite social platform. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and I check those ones. And so tell me which one of these 5 wishes that you needed to receive the most right now. And if you want to give me a gift, hey, the greatest gift you could give would be to share this episode with another amazing woman who deserves these birthday wishes too, and to write a review. And then the cool thing is when you write a review and you screenshot it and you send it to us, I am going to, with your mailing address, I'm going to send you a little something special in the mail. So hit subscribe. Make sure you do that. Continue listening to these episodes. I really appreciate you. We're in our 6th year, coming on 7. That's wild. Can't even believe it. And I'm just truly grateful that we get to spend this time together. Until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.